of Trustees. It's being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, which suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location due to the state of emergency due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will allow for public comment under agenda items, and we don't have any of those today. The public can join the meeting. We've provided the telephone number as well as the link for the website on our agenda. All supporting materials have been provided for members of this body and are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. As a preliminary matter, this is Mary DeCourcy, Chair of the Board of Trustees. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Matt Toth.
Present.
Suzette Dowd.
Present.
Jennifer Shea. Absent. Paula Melican.
Present.
Great. Town employees participating, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Jean Collins.
Present.
Great, thank you. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. I just want to announce to the board, while I've provided the agenda and I'll stay for the first 15 minutes, I have a class that conflicted with this meeting tonight, so I'd like to turn the chair position over to Matt Toth, if that's okay with you, Matt?
Okay.
I think the first is the minutes from March 10th.
Yeah.
So I provided everyone in your packets with the minutes from March 10th, as well as Jean's director's report and her bill summary. Yes. So it should be the second page, should be the minutes. I'd like to motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
My second.
Sorry, Matt, I took over.
No, it's good. You're here.
Sorry about that. Any comments about the minutes? No? Can I make a request regarding the minutes?
Sure.
Because they're approved, that I think that the statement that you made in the minutes was really powerful. And it's my hope that, we could use, when we meet with the Board of Selectmen, that you could share that aloud. I don't know if I need to make a motion.
I don't know, probably, I don't think so. What do you
Okay.
think?
I think it might backfire,
Okay.
you know.
To do
I-
a motion?
No, I think it might,
Statement.
to read that out loud at that meeting where you're trying to
Right.
come to common ground, I think that might,
I'm just wondering if they don't need some background, even if, it doesn't have to be exactly this.
Right.
It can be something that be, at least, well, I had some ideas on that, but.
okay, go with your gut
I think there
feeling.
has to be some background, but I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying. Maybe not
Okay.
maybe not this exact statement.
You might, is there something that you particularly would rather not have there?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought, you know,
Now, that refers to the response to Julie Jacobson's letter?
Yes.
Because it isn't mentioned on here where that comes from.
Well, it comes from actually everything that was done over the past years,
But it,
starting with 212.
these were the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. It has to do with the,
Yeah, excuse me, if
It's Matt
somebody's trying
talking.
to get into the meeting and you must not have opened it up or something.
Oh, let me, you go ahead. You go ahead with what, sorry about that.
There's nothing particular, it's just,
Right.
okay.
I agree with you on that.
Can you give me a little,
I think it needs to be more generic. I think this is an issue that we have and we have background on, and I think to read this, it would, to all the members of town meeting, you're either.
no, I just, this is a selectman in order to get
Oh,
them.
selectmen's meeting,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was referencing to
I'm
give a
sorry.
little history, but also a little bit of persuasive commentary to go with our
Yeah,
request for the
I
change.
guess I
So
still,
I wasn't very articulate.
no, I misunderstood. I thought you wanted to read it at town meeting. Did you understood that and that was your response that you felt?
No, I
it
didn't
was-
think he was saying town meeting. I was thinking when the subcommittee
Yeah.
meets on, not at town
So
meeting.
you don't feel it's appropriate to read it to the Board of Selectmen?
Well, do they know this background?
No,
They
that's,
don't.
that's the trouble.
Oh, all right, then that's different.
But I can, if you find something particularly problematic in this,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a subcommittee meeting on the charter next Wednesday. And so whoever, either can, I wanna be careful that we're not deliberating on anything,
Okay,
but
wait. So the meeting is,
next Wednesday at 6,
This is Wednesday, so the
the 8th.
8th.
Yeah,
Wednesday the 8th, and that is here?
yeah, that's a subcommittee meeting for the charter. And if anybody has any concerns about parts of this, then they can let me know that.
Okay.
And I'll be happy to do that. What I thought, I had some idea about this. In one of the letters, on the 2012 letter from town council, he does a historical background. And his main sentence in the beginning was this: it appears that the library trustees have been involved in the operation of the Auburn Public Library since at least 1876 and have served as an elected capacity since 1894. And that historical...
I'm very sorry to interrupt. Is this open to the public? I just don't want to see you
Yeah,
get too
I'm
far
trying-
without being open to the
Yeah,
public.
I'm
is the way it
trying
says
to
on
open
there.
up the link, but I wasn't able to do it on that computer, so I'm trying.
It's supposed to be open to the public, so I just wanted to,
Yeah, thank you.
before you get too far, that's all.
Nope, I appreciate that. Sorry about that, Matt.
No problem.
Interrupted the flow. Chris had us on track and I dropped the ball.
No, you were laughing at it.
You know,
He was right.
what
Okay,
I can
just have to
hand
pull
out
up the
is,
agenda.
what I tried to put together in my thinking about, with the selectmen. And that's what,
This is the what you would like to read to them?
well, yes.
Okay, almost there. Thank you.
Yes, I think this is better,
Yep.
Well,
because there's no eyes in it.
no, well, That was my next question, but I was going to wait until, are you on, Mary?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got the password and everything from Mr. Mike Marino last week, and I forgot to get on, because I've never done this before, so I'm not on yet. No, it's
Okay.
kicking me. But
You want the password? It's on here.
No, I got it. I'm looking at it. Trying to get
So
in.
that's all public, that's good. And the language for the warrant we passed out last week.
Right,
It-
not last week,
No, that,
at the last meeting.
at the last meeting, we
Right.
passed all that material out.
No, I think this is much better.
I agree. Do we need to motion on?
Well, we can't until you're
Okay,
hooked
sorry.
up.
I'm trying. It's saying that I'm connected, but it's
Yeah.
just thinking and
It's
things.
spinning.
I just have to pull up the agenda to be able to open the link. It's so slow. Thank goodness I have a touch screen.
You brought 2 computers with you?
Yeah, well, one's for my class. Chromebook doesn't work on my PhD program in the school. It doesn't interface correctly. Okay, it's saying computer, save and continue. Sorry, guys. Save and continue.
I'd rather wait, because if you have a vote, then it's not worth anything.
Right.
And good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I have a late start in signing into the link that connects us to the Board of Trustees meeting. Tonight is September 1st. It is now 6:42, and we had started the meeting at 6:30, and we will reiterate what we had talked about, and we haven't voted on any items yet. So do you mind if we just sort of go through the agenda and to be able to make that public to everyone?
Sure.
First thing we did was approve the minutes from March 10th. Mary made a motion, Matt seconded.
Great.
We didn't vote yet.
We didn't vote yet, though.
So
So,
we're live.
Okay, so, any other comments or questions about the minutes? If not, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Good. And then the only other thing is, we already have the subcommittee on the charter. The meeting next Wednesday doesn't require a vote, but it will require, you probably doing it already tomorrow because of a holiday that's in between.
Okay.
So whoever wants to come to that meeting next Wednesday night, but it's strictly.
What time is it at?
6, and it's strictly on the whole warrant article, the whole conversation with the Board of Selectmen.
Now, do you mind if I put this computer so that you're the one that it's focusing on since you're chairing? There you go. Sorry.
That's all right.
So there you are.
That's fine.
See? Okay. Thank you.
That's far enough,
My fault.
that's good. Okay. Now, the next thing on the agenda, I don't know, were there any other questions that anyone had? The next thing on the agenda is really the warrant article which is proposed warrant article. I'll give you another copy in case you don't have it with you. That we did that at the last meeting, but
Thank you. Do you want me to pass them along?
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. I can be the runner.
what is this?
Oh, I could just move that down.
Yep, can you pass one right there? There we go. Bunch of
And one,
right
is
there.
that one?
There's one right there, yes.
Now, what had happened is, Mary sent this proposed draft to the town manager and requested that the town manager have town council review this. And we asked that it might, if possible, to have it, some kind of response to us a few days before our September 1st meeting today. We have not gotten any response at all. So I'm hoping, through Mary, that we have that before next Wednesday. Well, I hope in the next couple of days so we get a chance to review it and see what changes we have to make. But the subcommittee was authorized to do that with a vote a couple meetings ago, so it's not that we're in any trouble to do that. And the only thing, if the warrant article remains as it's listed here, which was passed out at the last meeting, has been reviewed, I think we probably should vote on this today, that the only changes that would be made would be those suggested by town council. Otherwise, this is what we would use in our conversation with the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a second on that?
Second it.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Mary, yes?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Suzette?
Yes.
Matt, yes.
Suzette, you seconded that?
Yes.
So I think we've done whatever voting we have to do
Okay.
tonight. I didn't see anything else on the agenda that would require a vote.
So just a clarification though, so I will email the town manager regarding just a prompt to remind that we would like to have the town council review that document and give us any feedback or any changes that he'd like to make.
Yeah.
And I will post the agenda for next Wednesday.
Perfect.
I'll do it tonight.
Great. And that's a subcommittee meeting.
That's a subcommittee meeting,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that warrant article as you see it?
No, we went over this at the last.
Yeah, we really did go over that. There's no, the only thing, the wording that has changed on that a little is that it meets whatever standard is normal for an article for the town meeting. You know, this is the way that they're always written.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing with the last sentence that says, or act on anything relative thereto.
Yep.
But the rest of it is all the same.
Good.
Okay. Mary, before you leave, are you going to be leaving for class?
I'm just going to go across the hall so
Okay.
I can go on my
Okay.
computer.
All right.
And then I'm locking up the building after. So what
Okay.
was your question?
Did you want to talk at all about the You Belong Here? Unless there's anything else on that warrant article? No, okay.
In terms of an update on You Belong Here, I had been driving through Sturbridge. I saw this wonderful, 6 actually, beautiful graphic designs with photos of people who represent different demographics. And just the terms "You Belong Here." So I reached out to Becky Plimpton, who's the library director, and she had reached out to their Board of Trustees chair, who's also the chair of the art, what do we call it, the Art Commission, what's it called, the Auburn
Arts Council?
Thank you. I belong to it and I can't spit it out. But anyway, I talked to her this week, just an update. I sent out to my cultural council the date, so I was hoping that our cultural council could secure a date to go out to Sturbridge for a presentation. Becky gave us some dates, and then I would like to invite, just an open invitation for any BOT members that would like to come. And my suggestion to my board was if we could go out, see a presentation, and then maybe get a bite to eat and just talk about how we could implement something like that in Auburn in terms of just promoting the vision that I have, to be honest with you, as the vice chair of the culture committee, I'd love to see more teenagers taking an active role in inclusion in this community. So I had mentioned in our subcommittee meeting that, everybody's open to apply for grants, but I'd love to see our teenagers, we always talk about our teenagers, but taking much more of an active role in terms of promoting inclusion in town. And You Belong Here is about perspective. I was at the library all week, and a thing that's happening that is so about diversity, inclusion, and equity is I went in to observe an exercise class, and there were the laptop computers set very, very low with the little tiny chairs, set up on them. And I had mentioned to Dave, there's an example. That's a indicator that we're really taking the perspective of little people. So I just, the idea that I had is, we think about inclusion in K through 12, we think of people with special needs. When we think of it in terms of diversity, equity, inclusion, we oftentimes think of race. I'm not qualifying any specific group. I'm just, what I'd like to encourage everybody to think about is just taking perspectives of everyone in the community and how we could be more inclusive. And that example at the library was a perfect example of imagining what it is like to be a little person and be welcomed to that computer at the eye level, which I thought was awesome. So I will update the committee on when we're going to do a visit. Becky Plimpton gave me September dates and October dates, so maybe we can discuss that and see
Do you
if
have those dates?
I can provide those dates. I sent them to the culture committee because they're the ones that I want to go, but I'd love to invite and make it an
Okay.
open invitation. I'll send those.
When
to
you find out which ones they want,
Yeah.
just send us those.
Very good. Absolutely. So that's all. I just really appreciate it, and I just want to promote it, and I'm hoping that we can promote it through the culture committee as well. Encourage people to think about everyone when they're applying for grants. That's all I had to say.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Look forward to that possibility. Okay. Anything else from trustees before we do the director's report?
Just, is it okay if I step out for my
Sure.
class? If anybody needs me?
We do not need to vote on anything else
Okay.
that I can see.
Okay.
And if we do, we'll call you.
Okay, and it's just informational. I'll be on my headphones and I'll lock up when you guys are done. But I just,
And that's true with the
Thank you.
director's report and bill schedule and all
Great.
those things.
Yep, thank you. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, whenever
So
you're
I'll go
ready.
through this, gave you kind of an outline instead of typing it all out, and easier to just explain it anyways. So just in terms of the facility, we replaced a lot of the carpeting tiles in front of the restrooms. For some reason, there was really dirty pathways there that, really couldn't be cleaned. And we do have some left in the back, so I asked DPW to replace those, so it's just there in that section. It looks brighter and a little bit cleaner anyways. We replaced some of the carpeting in the Merriam room that had stains on them. Again, that's why we did the carpeting tiles there, and we did have some. I have to order some more, so hopefully we can just keep up with that. Ceiling tiles, I'm not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow when we get wind-driven rain. We still get some leaks in the ceiling. But those were replaced again, so it doesn't seem to be any big deal. We just need to keep on top of it with the, with the tiles. In terms of, because we are so tight for storage, we literally have barely any room to move. So what I discussed with DPW was for them to build us kind of a big platform, more like a really big shelf in the garage. So when we go down the hallway, we will go directly out to a big platform. That we can move some of our things up there, which actually is much easier for us. We can get them more easily instead of going all around the building every time we have to bring chairs and things up. So that will free up some space in the garage. And you'll actually have much more room than we ever had to process the books. So I don't know when this is going to happen. It's raining tomorrow. We cleaned out the garage, so maybe they'll be able to go and do it tomorrow, but I don't even know if they've ordered the materials. We're paying for it out, it's probably at least $1,000. We pay for that out of the appropriations budget, so that you don't have to pay anything for it. So what that will do will give us some storage space, which means we can move some things from on the floor of the garage up there.
Is there any heat in there yet?
There's a really good heater, and we can get another one too. we really didn't even need it, but.
Even in the winter?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but there's one there, and if you need another one, we'll get you another one too. It worked fine.
Okay.
And even in the summer, it really never got like super
Is
hot
there
in there
anything
too.
on the cement floors?
No, but I'm gonna contact, our tile people and ask them if they've got any leftovers thing that we can put tiles down for you.
Right, just so
Such
your
as
feet
standard.
aren't on
Yeah.
cement?
Yeah, so I'm gonna check that. We do have a file cabinet, when you're talking about file cabinets, so there are a
Good.
couple of file cabinets in the garage right now, and if you think you want them, we will move them into the half of the garage that you can use.
Okay.
You will have some shelving, and you'll also have some storage space under that platform. The platform's only 3.5 feet high, so you can't like do anything under there. But you can certainly store boxes and things under there, and if possible, and if they have time over the winter, I'll have them make some of those platforms with wheels, so you can actually put the boxes and then pull them
And
out.
then pull them out.
So
That'd be
I will
great.
talk, they're pretty out straight with Gleason and a bunch of other things, but I will, I'll keep that in mind.
That'd be good.
So that will give you some storage space and some work areas. There's some shelvings. I'm not sure yet about tables. We can look to see if we've got tables or, I think before we go too far, you can probably come and meet with me and see what you need, and let's
Right.
see what we can pull
See
up
it and
for you.
figure it
Yeah,
out.
and then see what to do from there.
That's good.
Yeah. So that should solve some problems for us, because we literally have to keep things in the Merriam room. When we have a program, we have to pull them out and put them around our desks and then put them back in the Merriam. We just don't have enough room. So that'll help us, and it should help you. So
Yeah.
hopefully that will
Good.
work.
Sounds like a plan.
These are our fall hours of operation, fall/winter. Julie and I are going to discuss these again in December. We will assess it again at that point in time. So this does bring us to 50 hours, which meets the compliance for the state.
Gene, I have a question about this, and it's just, and I don't know whether we've got to try to write a policy on this, or what kind of, because when we closed on Mondays, we had to vote to do that, and to support that. And I'm very concerned that we're not, from Monday through Thursday, open until 8 o'clock at night.
Well,
And-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And, I know that we're changing a little bit of time on Saturday, and, but to not be open until 8 o'clock on those 4 nights, it seems
That's
like
when
we
most
should-
of the adult programming is.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not even sure how much programming we'll have. The numbers are climbing. I'm not even sure I'll be having people in that room. Everything's in flux. And the programs don't generally last until 8 o'clock. Usually they're 6 to 7. So a lot of times there's nobody in there, even until 7. And we have a significant staffing issue, just like every other business in the world, it seems. And so we just don't have enough people, without burning everybody out. So we're going to assess this in December and see how it went. I know a lot of libraries who aren't even open on Saturdays, and we are making sure that we're keeping the Saturdays and we're doing what we can. We're also opening a half hour earlier on Monday morning, because generally we never open until 9:30. So I feel like we're doing the best we can. I did discuss this with Julie, and we will assess it again in December to see.
I thought, when you said that we're going back to regular hours after Labor Day, I thought that it was regular hours. I am going to ask at the next meeting, I don't want to get bogged down with this today, that we do something in terms of a policy that keeps that library open till at least 8 o'clock instead of 7 on those 4 days. Even if it has to change a little bit for the opening time, but it could be a little later maybe. It's been a year and a half already, and it'll be 2 years then before we even are reassessing this in December. And it's just like the Friends group. If you have any kind of adult group that meets, they're at 7 o'clock.
Right, the
It's
book
an
club
hour.
too, and the knitters, and
Yeah.
And I
adult
told the
groups
book
that
club
meet.
that if they didn't want to switch, we would stay there. The library was still closed, but we would stay. So she's discussing that with the group, and if they want to change the time, that would be great. If they don't, we will honor that, and we will stay, 2 people will stay late so they can hold the meeting. So we're certainly doing what we can to accommodate any any discussions that we already had. I just wanted to give you some sort of perspective. I don't know if my paper is here, sorry. It's not that we don't want to, it's that we just have so few staff, and we don't have, really a day team and an evening team and a Saturday team. It's all of us working all of those hours. Everybody's at 10 hours a day already, trying to keep up. So
Do we have open positions that we can hire more?
we do have open positions. That's, it's an ongoing issue with all libraries right now, that they're,
Well, there seems to be some reason that some libraries can do that, and I don't know what makes the difference. But with
Yeah,
the open
there's-
positions,
and I just want to jump in here for a minute. I know of 3 libraries, I won't say which ones, and I'm pretty
Oh.
sure there's a 4th. They closed their children's rooms because they didn't have anybody to staff the children's room. We don't have to do that, it's not set aside. So every library that I know of right now is dealing with staffing issues, just like every business, every organization. It's, we're doing the best we can with it, and let's see, I keep trying to find the paper that I have. So we are assessing it again in December. This is certainly not permanent. This is
that's
just
another
temporary.
4 months off. And, you can't do any adult programs if you're gonna end at 7 o'clock.
I've already got several of them scheduled.
And they're all done by 7?
Most of them were always scheduled at 6 o'clock anyways, and done by 7. And if they're not and they run over, then we stay. We're not going to keep people out.
What are
There's
your
a
book club
Q&A.
hours usually, Suzette?
Well, we haven't met in 2 years, but usually we were there till 8.
Well, I spoke
Because
with
I
Rose a
noticed
couple
that.
of times. She reached out to everybody, and it was decided
She
to move
didn't
at
ask us to-
6:30. Okay, I don't
She
want to get
asked
in the middle
about
of
the date.
Well, I
What date
think-
was the best?
I don't
Would we
speak to all the
switch
members,
to-
that's up to her, and
Yeah.
we decided, she said 6:30, but then we talked, and she was gonna see if they wanted to switch it to 6 or even earlier, and I don't have any say in that. I just said if they didn't want to switch, I would honor, the 7:30, even though we'd be closing at 7.
Well, I know there's a lot of people in the book club that aren't retired, that still work, so coming to 6 would be helpful.
Are other town departments changing their hours, reducing their hours too?
I can't really speak to that, but you're welcome to call to speak to Julie, because
Well,
there are lots of things.
I am gonna make a
trying to-
motion at the next meeting then, that we work on that policy that deals with hours that were open. And if somebody says that that's not right, then I don't know why we were asked to help support the closing on Mondays so that there'd be a 3-day weekend. So I'm not looking to be contentious on that. It's just, I thought we were going back to 8 o'clock when we said we were going back after Labor Day. So I'll leave that till the next meeting. Thank you.
So moving forward, we are working on QR codes, which in fact are actually quite easy if you have a QR code generator. So we're doing some of those. We're going to put those in the throughout the different places in the library. I've had a couple meetings and jump a little bit with the Auburn Mall about the Storywalk initiative, and we've got another one the week after next with the Director of Marketing for Sunman Malls. And we're also going to use QR codes there too. So we've got, the general idea is to put stands. I got some stands just to see how they were going to work. They're putting out a lot of the money for the stands. So they stay there stationary.
Great.
So it's going to be at the Sears end. I don't want to go too far because I've met with the assistant director, but not the director. And so we're just going to kind of frame that out. But it should be, it's a stationary exhibit that people can just visit. We're not there, although we may schedule like a story with the library staff or something. I'm not sure we're stretched too thin to do that. But that's not the intention of it anyways. It's to put the stands out there so kids can go from stand to stand, kind of read the story.
Right, they like doing that.
Yeah, they do. And we'll probably, the QR code, people can register for it if they want to. They don't have to, but if they register for it, then we have them on a list and they can pick up a literacy packet at the library later that relates to the story. And we'll have some coloring, a basic craft thing there, but I don't want to leave a lot of materials out there. So it's a place that Parents can go, there's some seating for adults, and the stands will probably be in some kind of a U shape. Again, I haven't gone there, we're gonna meet at the mall the next time and sort of flesh this out a little bit more, so I think it'll be good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Ongoing collection development, I do add some pieces to this every month because it's, you know, as I said, a year-long, very intense project. We're now working on young adults. We did a major weeding for relevance and age and a lot of things that needed to come off of there, and we've done a lot of updating. I met with some teens yesterday who, 2 days ago. They happened to be in the library. There's quite a few teens actually who've been stopping in lately. And they had some ideas, and so, you know, we were already looking at perhaps virtual reality that they could use in the library. There's a lot to that, so we're looking up at that, and some a gaming computer and some games that could be used in the library. So different things. We do have some funds for that I can pull from a capital account. So the YAs, we're trying to just you know, up that area a little bit, put some signage there because that is for YA, and as it is, it's a very small area. So we want to make sure that we put the signage up there and keep it for the teens. Spotlight collection will be changing over from the gardening to cookbooks, so we're in the process of doing that. So if you go in and you see a big empty space, it's because we're swapping out all the books and you know, putting new stickers on them and getting some new ones. There's also going to be a companion section for like beers and wines that go with cooking, you know, that type of thing. So we're building that right now and hopefully have that pretty much ready in about a week. Combining YA and adult reference, those previously were just kind of spot shelved in different places, but there's no reason they can't be together, so those will be moved as well. I'm renewing most of the titles for the magazines. I'm waiting still for a quote from them. A lot of magazines have ceased publications or have merged with somebody else, so I'm kind of see what what those are, and as well to look to see what some new ones are that we might want to add to it. And we'll be working on nonfiction for the children's room, which is very tightly packed and really it's going to take a while to get through all of those. There's a lot there that's valuable, but an equal number that's probably not. So again, as we continue to do this, now we're in a place where we can add signage, which we've been doing, which includes there needs to be some Braille signage in certain areas as well. So we will be taking.
Do we have population that uses Braille visiting the library?
It doesn't matter if you do or not. It's an ADA compliance thing. So, and we do actually. We have some people come in with, with canes. So, the creation stations, which I'm not going to have indoors anymore for a little while because there are a lot of people in the room, and that makes me nervous, especially because it's kids. But they always go over very well. Most people stay an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's 3 hours we set up different things in the Mary room. And they play together really well and socialize, and so do the parents. And, people come from different towns as well, too. So it's worked out well. We will probably have a couple more outside in the fall until it gets too cold to do that. And book club resumes 9/13. The Friends meetings, so this is where I guess we had to change the date. The Friends first meeting, and I guess
The 25th.
it's going to be the 25th. And then I don't know if that's a monthly meeting or not. You can let me know, and then we can work out the schedule.
Talk with them and find out
Right.
what's the best night for most people.
This One Book, Many Communities, that's in process. This is a collaborative initiative with libraries from Bolton, Hudson, West Boylston, and I think I forgot one here, from Auburn. I thought there was one more. There's some other libraries that are doing it too outside of Central Mass. No, not that I know of, but there's some, Fitchburg, Springfield, but they're not really, they're kind of doing their own thing out in that area, even though it's virtual. So don't have a lot of information on that yet. We're supposed to have a Zoom meeting in the next week or two. The idea is for everybody to read the book sometime over the month of September, and then have the book discussion with the author in October.
What's the book they're reading? Do you remember? Just because I like
totally
to
blank. Do you guys remember? Sorry. I had it on my last minute.
I'll look it up. It's on the website?
No, it's not on the website yet. There
Oh.
is a flyer that we haven't approved the flyer yet, so
Okay.
I'm sorry. It was on my
I
last
just
book
like to,
report meeting. I know, it was on my
ones
last
that are
meeting,
recommended,
right.
I try and read.
Auburn Mall I just talked about. So these are some of the programs that we have tentatively scheduled. Ted Reinstein, I have to change that one. because of his schedule. Civil War fashions, and we're having somebody come who actually brings some of the Civil War fashions and do a PowerPoint and discussion about the Civil Wars. Usually they talk about...
Is it gonna be a PowerPoint or actual?
It's both.
Oh, good.
It's both with the speaker. They usually have them, they're usually about military uniforms, but this isn't. It's a lot about women's fashions and those kinds of things too, so I think it'd be interesting.
Look for that one.
Bemis has been scheduled, that is, I believe, on the 9th. I just finished scheduling that one
October 9th?
yesterday.
Or,
No, September. The promotion will be coming out. There are 2 back-to-back sessions. One's at 4 and one's at 5:30. And that's to make a porch pot. The toddler program, which is what Mary was referencing, it wasn't an exercise program, although we do some active engagements too. Those have been going very well. We're also moving that one outside next week. Tai Chi, we will be offering that. That will be in the Merriam Room, and masks will be required. It's going to be a little bit different from some things we've done before. It's a 3-week introductory to Tai Chi, and we'll see how it goes.
is this kids or?
This
all?
is for adults, but later on we might do some Kung Fu for kids. Like he said, this is kind of slow moving for kids. They don't usually like the Tai Chi. So.
Right.
And the online book club, which is hopefully going to kick off soon. I'm working on that. I'm also working on the state aid financial report. And the post office had another job fair today, and they seemed very happy with the turnout. I don't think it was like the first one, but they were happy to have the library.
There certainly wasn't on their side.
Oh, right. But they're, I reserved the history room for them so that they could have people go in and fill out applications, and it was busy the whole time, so.
Good.
So if anybody has any questions about the
I
bill
had
schedule.
one question about the bill schedule. I did highlight it. Where is it? Oh, constant contact. $378 for constant contact. That costs you money?
That's an annual subscription to use their website.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. That's the basic. I don't get the other levels where you can do all fancy things. I don't think we need that. It works extremely well for what we need.
Yeah?
That's not actually that much money for what we get.
Oh,
I mean, those
that's
things are
good.
just
All right.
really expensive.
When there,
And it really virtually never goes down, which is,
What does?
when there are just
Constant
names like,
contact, like if you get notified of all the programs.
Oh,
it's an
okay.
And you're
email
on that
distribution
list?
So
So
you get
that's a
notification,
subscription.
and I put
Yeah.
the promotions right in there. You can click right in there and go to the website, and so.
Okay.
And also updates on some
I
other
just
things.
thought it
Sometimes
sounded
I keep it
like
mostly for
a lot of
promotions.
things. How do you pay for that? I thought you were doing it.
Well, I do it, but I need a platform to send it out.
What do I know?
Yep, I can say it. Didn't realize.
what's Lakeshore Learning?
Lakeshore Learning has a lot of educational toys.
Yep.
I don't
Toys
hate to even
and
call them toys.
teacher
but-
supplies.
Yep.
Yeah, teaching supplies and a lot of educational things that, especially with the creation stations, we were setting up like 12 different stations, and it took 2 to 3 hours to set all that up. So we kind of watched it to see what was the most favorable to children. And so one of the last things we recently got, actually it didn't come from there, but was a kitchen set and a little gas grill, and they play together. It's so amazing to watch them. And they set up and they've got their pretend food and they're socializing. I saw 2 littler ones had a little bit of a tussle, and one of the older children went in and helped them resolve it. I mean, so it's really great social learning. There's cash register, so there's a little financial stuff going on. So that's where we use them for a lot of the resources for the children's room as well. And it's good quality materials.
Yeah.
And you know all about that, huh?
I did. I think I actually bought a kitchen for my oldest here, and I think didn't they used to have a, I don't know if this is the one that was in Newton or Newtonville, they used to have a teacher's sale, you could go.
Right, 30% off, you know.
Yeah, we get a discount, from a library discount.
Oh, good.
So that's good. Every year you could buy one thing 50% off in the month of July, I think. And so you'd go and you'd buy something big classroom that you've always wanted, 50% off. I used to buy one every year.
All right, is there anything else that we need to do?
No, I think a motion we adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that.
15, good.
We're done. Thank you.
All set?
Yep.
Thank you.